Bean Games!
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to April. I'm glad you found your way back to Bean Games here on another great Friday. But yeah, welcome to April. We've made it through the first quarter of the year, and now we're into the second quarter of the year, spring. It's fantastic. I thought very briefly about doing some sort of April Fool's episode on this past Monday, but I thought of it far too late, because it wasn't really until I was uploading the Resident Evil episode on Monday that I thought, oh, it's April 1st. Should have done something about that. But no goofs here, only our regularly scheduled programming. And since today's Friday, that means Euro Truck Simulator 2. So we're going to get right down to business and see where the roads take us today. I hope you're looking forward to this spring. I know I am. It was a good winter, nothing wrong with it. But as the days start to get longer and sun starts to come up earlier and a little bit of warmer weather, I am a fan of that. So last episode we did some upgrades. We put a new flag on. We got the never-ending sandwich on our dashboard. Very exciting. And so now we are just ready to hit the roads and just pick up some jobs, make a little trucker cash, and see what's out there for delivery today. So let's go ahead and drive right into the fence. Nope, stopped ourselves. So far. I think we're here in Toulouse. Let's see what kind of gigs we got. What kind of job offers we got? Okay, we got a few different things, all for trade aucts where we're picking up. We got post packages. We've got liver paste, barley, and rye. Apparently, this is a grain depot. No pumpernickel, unfortunately, as we discussed with Sandwich Time last week. Let's see here. I'm not a fan of liver paste. That one, scratch that right off. Post packages. That one certainly makes them way more per kilometer, but this one I think goes somewhere where I haven't been. Oh, I'm just intrigued. You know what? Let's go exploring. Let's take barley. Why not? Barley. It's a great grain. Where do we need to pick this barley? Visit box of barley, as it were. I guess really that's what a giant truckload of barley is. It's a big old barley box. The biggest barley box that there ever was. It is kind of just one of those, like one's covered with a tarp sort of thing. Definitely just grain. All right, and we are out on the road. How is my sleep level? Something I've got to get better at checking. Oh, no, that is not... Okay, no, we should be fine. It's going to take 7 hours to deliver it. I need 9 hours of sleep, but there's 21 hours on the job, so that gives us like a 5-hour buffer. Okay, we should be all right there. I didn't think to check my rest level before we set out, but I think we'll squeak by okay, because we don't want too many more of those late deliveries. Make sure we take the right. Let's wait for traffic. Ooh. Ooh. Hello there, Mr. Bus. Swing out into traffic, and there we go. Let's get this barley out of Dodge. One more red light. Barley is a grain of which I am not terribly familiar, I suppose you could say. I mean, I'm sure I've had barley products. I think at one time, maybe this was like a couple of years ago, I found some barley just, you know, like barley to make as a grain, as a side dish for a meal, you know, like rice. And I think I tried it, and I think my wife was not a fan, if I recall correctly. I didn't mind it. It was fine, like any other grain, sort of a cross between rice and oatmeal, really. A little bit more texture. It wasn't bad. It wasn't fantastic, but it wasn't bad. But I haven't gone back to barley. No, I haven't gotten back on the barley train since then. I'm much more of a rice fan. We have rice in our house all the time. My wife especially, big fan of sushi rice. I've talked about Japanese food on here before, Japanese cuisine, which is a semi-regular staple in our house. We just recently got some dashi stock for the first time, which is like a soup stock that's very common for making ramen and miso soup. Terrific. But I like all kinds of rice. I'm an equal opportunity rice eater. White rice, brown rice, mixed rice. Definitely have white rice the most. That's what my wife prefers. Brown rice, I'll usually keep some on hand. You know, they say it's healthier for you because of the shell on the grain. Meh. I think I believe that, but I'm also not too terribly concerned. I get plenty of fiber in the rest of my diet, so. Start of the toll road. Here we go. But yeah, I'll tell you what, we got a rice cooker a while back. I'm a big fan of labor-saving devices in the kitchen, no doubt, but a rice cooker is just a blessing. I love rice, but I hate cooking rice on the stovetop. It's so easy. It takes forever. You got to keep stirring it to make sure that it doesn't burn or stick to the bottom of the pot. I don't know. It's very easy to sort of mess up. At least in my experience, it has been. But a rice cooker just steams the heck fire out of that rice and just makes it it's just so simple. You dump it in, you turn it on, you walk away, and when it beeps, it's done. You've got terrific tasting rice, just ready to go. Definitely get a rice cooker. If you don't have one, if you've never tried using a rice cooker before, boy, if you eat rice on any sort of regular basis, it is worth it. We have rice at least a couple times a week. Usually at least once a week I'll make up a big old vegetable stir fry. We'll have rice with that. My wife loves making fried rice. We can just eat that for a meal. It's great. Yeah, usually just plain white rice. And it's so cheap. I mean, rice is just dirt cheap, you know? It's wonderful. One of the most nutritionally, like the most nutrition per dollar rice. It's definitely up there. My wife's favorite kind of rice is sushi rice, which is, I don't know all the ins and outs of the chemistry behind it, but sushi rice is it's a more gelatinous type of, or no, sorry, not gelatinous, glutinous. So if you're avoiding gluten, I don't think sushi rice is for you. I'm very sorry. But sushi rice, it comes out just a lot stickier. I guess in Japan it's the most commonly used rice, obviously, in sushi, because it sticks together better, it holds together inside of the sushi roll. We'll just make it plain. We don't really have sushi or sushi rolls that often, but it is a very nice texture. It's a little thicker. Again, it's a little more glutinous. It's a fun word to say, glutinous. You know what I'm going to do real quick here, just before time gets away from me, is pull off and go ahead and get my rest in. Oh, I'm not going the right... Nope, this isn't good. I'm trying to pull into the car station. Oh, I'm so sorry. I just backed... That was completely my fault. You going around me? Why you tailgate me so hard there, bud? Didn't follow the signs there very well. That was completely my bad. Like, yes, maybe he had kind of come up real strong, but I will admit, I just backed right up into him without looking, and that was my fault. So I'm sorry. I will pay that. I will pay that crash fine. My apologies. All right, here we go. These nice little berths here. Big old truck berths. 6 to 15, 9 hours. They took my loan payment. Great. Okay, and now how are we doing on time? Oh, it's so... Holy cow. No, that's my next rest stop. Huh. Yeah, 11 hours remains on the job. 6 hours left of driving. Plenty of time. 5-hour buffer. Let's get this barley to Barleyland. Barleyland? Not a place. Could be a place. I'm not using my mirrors very well today. Okay. But yeah, sushi rice. So great texture. My wife loves using that for fried rice, especially when you're eating it on its own. Oh, just terrific. Super good. A little bit more expensive than your basic jasmine rice. You know, nothing's as cheap as just basic old rice in a bag from good old Walmart. You know, that's the cheap stuff. But sometimes it's worth paying for that sushi rice. It's a nice little upgrade. It's delicious. I don't often get too fancy with my rice. However, I will at times when I'm trying to impress people. Just put a little cilantro and a little bit of lime in for cilantro lime rice. As introduced to me so many years ago by Chipotle, that wonderful restaurant. I can never quite get the proportions right. Sometimes it's a little too much lime or not enough cilantro. It's a tricky balance, and I'm not always the greatest at finding that balance. The good news is it's hard to mess up. Like, even if you've got not quite the right ratio of lime to cilantro, it still tastes good. I've never yet made a bad batch of rice in the rice cooker. But yeah, rice and beans, you know, people call it poverty food. I call it delicious food. Sometimes being poor is being delicious. Not every aspect of poor is being delicious, but, you know, simple food can be the best food. I'm a firm believer in that. Like we were talking about potatoes a couple episodes ago. Potatoes. What a simple food, but what a tasty food. €51 to finish out the toll road. And there we go. About to do a little curve here, and then we'll be headed up north. Nice day for driving. Weather is terrific. Some clouds in the sky, but no rain. Overall, we've been blessed with some pretty good weather here. Pretty good weather. And that makes me happy. I hope it's good weather wherever you are, especially as the warmer temperatures. Ooh, I think I hit him or almost hit him, but it didn't give me the warning about it, so we're okay. Oh, now I gotta merge. Oh, geez. Oh, I just sideswiped this guy. And now I gotta get over it. I'm driving like a maniac today, guys. I'm not in the best form right now. I apologize, and I will continue to strive to do better. But we can only do as good as we can do. But yeah, I hope you're having good weather where you are as the weather starts to get warmer. If you're a person who likes to get outdoors, fantastic. I hope you have a spring full of sunshine this year to get out and do whatever you want. My goal is to get out and do some more hiking this year. Hiking and overnight camping trips. Got bitten by that bug pretty recently. And, yeah, want to get out and commune with nature. It's a great thing. Toll booth number 2 on this journey coming up. All the guys who work at the toll booths look very, very much the same. Must be the toll booth union's uniform. The European Toll Booth Union, the ETU. That is what I have decided is the name of the organization that runs all of the toll booths in Europe. It's an international thing. It's not, it's not that each country has its own uniforms on their guys at the toll booth. They've all got to be members of the European Toll Booth Union, the ETU. We appreciate your service. Ooh, big yawn, excuse me. Guys, we're really embracing the silence today. I hope that's okay with you. It's okay with me. Sometimes you gotta go with what feels right. And sometimes a little silence A little just listening to the noise of the road, the hum of the engine. Sometimes that's just what we need, whether we know it or not. €40 paid. Thank you very much, members of the ETU. Bravely serving. Out in the middle of nowhere. Look at that sunset. Beautiful. Sun rays just glimmering through the trees. What a beautiful sight. It's almost 8:30 p.m. here in game. Must be high summer in Europe for the sun to be up that long. We're still getting sunsets here in South Carolina by 7:30. We haven't gotten all the way into the longest days of the year yet. La Rochelle discovered. A new town. La Rochelle. Makes me think of New Rochelle. A town or city or suburb or housing division, something in New York City. Or adjacent to New York City, I suppose I could say. It's not actually in New York City itself. I'm not sure. I've never been there. Is this it? Lisette Logistics? Yeah, that's it. Lisette? Lisetti? I don't know. And here we are. Let's see where they'd like us to put it. Over here to the right. It's kind of a narrow parking options here on the left and right side of the buildings. Pulling that corner real tight. Oh, almost got it. Almost got it on the first try. There we go. Hey, that wasn't too bad at all. Let's decouple and see how we did. Good work. Not an excellent. I understand there was a couple of hiccups there. A little damage penalty. I understand that. But hey, good proficiency bonus. Good long distance bonus. Yeah, took a little chunk out, but still over 10,000 euros for that one delivery alone. Very good. 500 XP taking us up to level 8. Another level of enthusiast. I think that title changes every 5 levels. So we're working our way up to 10 to see what it is there. But yeah, nice work. Level 8. That means we get to upgrade here again. We've got long distance. We've got the just-in-time delivery. You know what? I think it's time to maybe go Class 1 explosives. Yeah, let's go. I'm feeling good about that. We're going to unlock our Class 1 explosives license and see if that opens up any new delivery options for us. And let's just jump right back out there. We're feeling good. Next rest stop in 6 hours. Let's see what else we've got right here at this trucking depot. Oh dear, am I getting boxed? Okay, no, I think I can go around. Again, this is an odd, like, square parking lot here. The building's in the middle and it makes you go all the way around. Makes me wonder where, if I get a job here, I'm going to have to hook up. Let's see what we've got. What is available here at this depot? Well, hey, look at that. How appropriate. We've got a shipment of rice. I think it only makes sense that we've gone from barley to rice. Trip time, 7 hours. Do they need it there by a specific date or a specific time? Doesn't say. Let's just take a job. Let's take some rice. We took some barley, took some rice. This is the grain episode of Euro Truck Simulator. Apparently that's our theme for today. Don't know if we'll keep it going with the next delivery. Gotta drive right past this barley that I just dropped. I'm just going in Not quite circles. I'm going in squares around this building. There we go. Boy, yeah, I am not a fan of the way this trucking depot is laid out here. Missed the boat on that one. Okay, we've got our rice hooked up here. Let's see if we can maneuver back out this square parking lot. And hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back. No mo, no mo, no mo, no mo. Until the rice is delivered, anyway. That's prerequisite number 1. I believe this one has us going up farther north, up the coastline of France. Nice little coastal drive. We've been very, very inland so far this game. Haven't gotten to do much driving on roads near the coast. I don't know if there are roads with views of the ocean, but that would be a nice change of scenery. We'll see. We'll take the scenery as it comes. First things first, let's get out of town. No kidding, I was walking downtown the other day, and our downtown is just this, very sort of your typical downtown 2-lane road going down. And I'm walking down Main Street, and here comes an 18-wheeler barreling down the middle of Main Street. You don't typically see 18-wheelers chugging along in the middle of Main Street. And my first thought was, that guy took a wrong turn. What a rookie move to make. And then I realized that I've done all sorts of things in this game that could be classified as rookie mistakes, and I had a renewed sense of compassion and empathy for that truck driver. I'm sure no matter what his circumstances were, he was just trying to do his best. So I could not fault him for mistakes that I have just as easily made while out here on the roads of Europe. Okay, we gotta take this exit. I believe, yeah. Whoa, what, speeding. I had just looked down at my speedometer and I could have sworn that it was still 90. And I was going like 60 or 70. Was there like a ramp speed limit that I somehow totally missed? Also, how do I make this turn? What am I doing? Oh, I feel like this is a bad decision. But I'm doing it anyway. Okay, that was all right. Is my map going to snap too? What's up with my GPS here, guys? Seems like it's trailing behind me a bit. I'm in the right direction though, so we're gonna carry on. For a second I was worried that this was a road only going in the opposite direction, but it does not seem to be the case. I think we're okay. Okay. I tell you what, this seems as good a time as any to mention a segment that I want to bring up again on today's show, and that's a segment that I have begun thinking of as TNT. No, not explosives, although now we are licensed to carry those. But no, TNT, which is short for Trucker News Today. What is going on in the big wide world of trucking out there. I want to find interesting stories, tidbits, news articles, anything that strikes the fancy, and share them with you here on TNT. Today's TNT comes to you from Saratoga, Wisconsin. I found this terrific article about a man named Doug Christensen. And I actually had to write these notes down, make sure I get it right. Doug Christensen was just recently awarded the 2018 Driver of the Year by the Wisconsin Motor Carriers Association. Doug has been a truck driver his entire life. His whole career has been driving big rigs. Apparently his father drove a delivery truck for a furniture store, company, warehouse, and when Doug was young, he would go with his father, drive in the truck with him, help him on deliveries, sometimes even take over some driving duties when his dad needed to catch a few winks in the back of the cab. So definitely got an early start. He's 62 now, been trucking his whole career. Interesting statistic, they calculated he has driven over 4 million miles over the course of his career, which is the equivalent of driving to the moon and back 8 times. That's no small distance. I can't even conceptualize 4 million miles. I'm curious as to how many miles I've driven in my life. Obviously, it's not even close to that. But what does that break down to per year, per month, per week? I wonder what his averages are there. Obviously, the man knows what he's doing. 4 million miles, and this article was quick to point out, never had a serious driving accident or incident of any kind. It did say serious, so maybe he pinged his fender a few times here or there, which makes me feel better when that happens to me in game. That it even happens to the pros sometimes, but no major accidents, no major incidents. Over 4 million miles of driving. What an accomplishment. And so congratulations to Doug Christensen on winning that award. Well done. Setting a high standard, setting the bar high for truckers everywhere, both real and imaginary. I was impressed and definitely inspired when I read about Doug. They interviewed him, and he talked about how he's always seeing the road differently. Like after so many years and miles and just thousands of hours, he sees all these patterns. He can predict when someone's about to blow through a stop sign, or when some other incident on the road is about to happen in front of him. Really sounded like he's almost developed this sixth sense, like this trucker sense, where he said it served him well. His intuition is so finely tuned that he just feels incredibly comfortable there. It was also impressive. This article talked about he does research for the routes he drives. Obviously, lots of routes, very familiar, but he uses an in-truck GPS. But many times, if he's driving a route or making a delivery somewhere where he hasn't been before, beforehand, he'll get on Google Maps and Google Street View and scope out the area in advance, watching out for one-way streets or narrow turns, especially once he gets into town. I thought, what a level of dedication. That's someone who takes his job seriously. And not just the job, but who takes being excellent at his job seriously. That's very, very impressive. That was majorly cool. Doug plans to work for another 3 to 4 years before retiring. And ironically enough, he said when he retires, he and his wife plan to travel. I guess when that bug for the road, the open road, and seeing new places gets in you, And just, it becomes who you are. I mean, a man like that who's put that many miles on the road, I couldn't blame him if for his retirement all he wanted to do was sit in a chair and read. Or maybe stand somewhere and read, that many hours of sitting in a truck. But nope, that's Doug Christensen for you. Man who loves to travel. So much respect. Another interesting fact about that this article shared, not directly related to Doug, is one that I had not heard, which is that being a trucker, the trucking industry is the 7th riskiest job in America in terms of accidents, in terms of fatalities and injuries per 1,000 people. They had all these statistics in this article cited. Being a truck driver is the 7th most dangerous profession in America. I guess I can understand that. I mean, you think of how many car accidents, truck accidents there are every day, every week, every year. So many trucks out there, it makes sense that there's going to be a lot of accidents out there on the road for truckers. But 7th most dangerous, I don't think I ever could have guessed that. Then that made me think, the article didn't say what the top 6 were, but that made me wonder, okay, what are the 3 riskiest jobs in America? And so I had to do a little Google searching, but turned up an article pretty quickly. Apparently, at least today, 2018, 2019, the 3rd most dangerous job in America is sailors and marine oilers. Had to check my notes there. Sailors in the Navy, sailors in any armed forces on ships, and marine oilers. So I guess people who work out on oil platforms at sea. I guess it's including that. It seems like a kind of lumped together category. But a lot of injuries, quite a few fatalities there. The 2nd most dangerous job in America is fishermen and fish industry workers. A pattern quickly emerges between number 3 and number 2, and that is that the sea, the ocean, is incredibly dangerous. Now, I could have told you that. I do not have thalassophobia, which is the fear of incredibly deep water, but I can certainly understand that fear. The ocean is a treacherous place. It can be a beautiful place, absolutely, but it can also be a treacherous place. Talking about fishermen getting caught up in machinery, storms, boat accidents, drowning. It's with a truck. If your truck breaks down, or you're in some kind of accident, but that you can walk away from, it. There's a road there. You can't do that on the ocean. If you're in a boat and the boat starts to capsize or sink, or there's some sort of issue there, depending on where you are and where the Coast Guard is, you might be straight out of luck. It makes you take for granted being able to walk away from a fender bender or a car accident, and makes me definitely realize I would not want to go and spend any significant time in the ocean. I'm not a big water guy by nature, more of a mountains country city boy than an ocean boy. The ocean is beautiful, sure, but boy, especially you read these stories sometimes of these people who, sail across the Atlantic Ocean or the Pacific Ocean in a little tiny sailboat, circumnavigating the world in their rowboat. I mean, the nerves of those people, they are just brave individuals, because when it's just you in the water, even the fittest human being on earth can only tread water for so long. And there is just a lot of water out there. No doubt. Whew. So yeah, so that's number 3 and number 2. The number 1, the most dangerous profession in America, is the logging industry. I don't think I would have guessed that. I don't feel like the logging industry is now what it was perhaps in years past, but still, you know, there's a lot of forests being cut down. There's always people out there living in the woods for months at a time, just chopping down trees. And again, they may have their feet planted on solid ground, solid forest turf. Pardon me as I sneeze there. Ooh, right as my guy in game yawns. Speaking of which, rest stop in an hour and 30 minutes. What happened? Oh, I'm really pushing that up like a half hour over. I can get another nap here if I need to, and I may need to do that. We'll see if a rest area pops up. But yeah, the logging industry. So, you know, they're on solid ground. They're not in the middle of the water, but there's just a lot of things that can go wrong when you're chopping down trees. I mean, big trees, huge trees, and a lot of trees. As many trees as they chop down. Certainly the technology has gotten better. The machinery, I'm sure, has improved since 100 years ago when they were cutting trees down by hand. I don't know what the timeline of the logging industry is like. But still, you're knocking down big trees, and you've got big equipment to do it, and chew those trees up and bundle them together. Again, I don't know a lot about the tree industry. But that's it, apparently. That's the most dangerous profession in America. I actually come from a lineage of loggers, of people who've worked in the tree industry. My dad's side of the family is from Maine, growing up. I think I have mentioned that before. And several of my couple generation back ancestors used to work in the logging camps up in Maine, backwoods of Maine. The whole northern half of Maine is basically just forests and trees. And Dad would tell stories of some of his great uncles and several generations there that would go out in the logging camps for months on end. That was their profession. I actually just recently borrowed a book from him that I have not read yet, but I'm very interested to, about some of those logging industry men in Maine. Oh dear! I just clipped that guardrail there. Okay, stay on track here. I forget the name of the book. Once I read it, I'll bring in a little book review for you here. But I'm very interested to read it. Just a whole different, you know, these men would go into the woods for, you know, 6 months out of the year, 8 months out of the year, and they would just live there. You know, they would live in these logging camps. And that was their full-time job. You know, living on site. It wasn't like a commute situation. You know, they were just they were living on the work site. So I'm hoping that book will give me some insights about, you know, the dangers and the lifestyle. Should be a pretty good read. So I'll let you guys know how it is once I get a chance to go through it. I think I was getting pretty tired here. I have not seen a rest stop in the last few minutes, and I don't know if we are going to see one. I know you're super tired. Surely there's got to be a rest area up here somewhere. If we see one, we'll take it, but... Well, next rest stop in 19 minutes, and now we're 26 minutes away. We're playing catch up. If we're very lucky, we may make this delivery in time. Really pushing it to the limit here. Risking another speeding ticket, but... Oh, I do think there is a rest area up here. On the outskirts of Roscoff, our next town. But, I may try to push it. Just had a flashback there to tipping my truck over. How many episodes ago that was? Oh, don't want to relive that. That's for sure. How you doing there, sleepy boy? 2 minutes. 1 minute. 5 minutes away. Coming right down to the wire. Hope my guy just doesn't like nod off in the truck. I just drive into the side of a telephone pole. Next rest stop now. Hang in there, buddy. We're almost there. I know, speeding violation, but it's worth it. Roscoff discovered another new town. Hey, 2 new towns in this episode. Excellent. We're making good strides on not just rehashing the same routes over and over again. I'm not going to be afraid of that. But it's nice to see those new town indicators pop up. It's very exciting. Okay, we gotta take a right here once the light goes. I think we're good. My guy's just pinching himself. He's just slapping himself in the face. The mug looks empty. Eat your sandwich. Eat your sandwich, driver guy. A little food, a little drink, anything to keep yourself awake right now. Hey, yeah, Roscoff is definitely on the coast here because that looks like a cruise ship out there. Looks like we got some kind of marina. Am I turning here? Yeah, I'm turning here. Yeah, that definitely... am I stuck? Stuck. Great time to get stuck. Clipped it. Yeah, that definitely looks like some kind of cruise liner. Very exciting. I don't think we're delivering to it. Although, I don't know. Maybe they need 20 tons of rice on that cruise. Wouldn't surprise me. I mean, those cruise ships have to carry a lot of food for a lot of people. Maybe we'll look that up. Share with you the answer next time. How many tons of rice, or how much rice does a cruise ship carry on any given journey? Especially here on this coast, maybe it's going transatlantic. Hey, we got ourselves an excellent job rating on that one. No damage penalties, a couple speeding tickets, but hey, we made a great delivery rate, some good experience, climbing the ranks from La Rochelle to Roscoff. Another great one. Guys, we're going to call it there for today. A little bit of a shorter episode. I think we're still under the hour mark. We'll have some longer ones in the future, I'm sure. These things will all balance out. Thanks for driving with us. Nice and simple day. Nothing fancy, nothing complex, but that's sometimes the best way to drive. That's the best kind of life for a trucker. And sometimes here on Bean Games, that's our best life on Fridays. We know that Mondays are coming. More zombies, more terrors, and that'll be fun. But we'll have a nice quiet start to the weekend. Have a great weekend, guys. We'll see you back here on Monday. And until then, drive safe.
Bean Game.